Morning, everyone. Wow, in a rush today to get to the screens, I tell you. Wife is away again, so I'm flying solo this week. So I will try and keep the streams as normal, but for those of you who have joined me over the last few months, you know when I'm flying solo, I have to fit a few dog walks in as well, and she can be quite demanding and doesn't always love walking, my dog. So a little rush to the screens this morning. But as ever, let's kick off with the high time frame chart. So let's start off on a daily chart. All right, so what are we getting? We had that one big sell day that closed outside the daily Bollinger Band. We came down into some big daily levels, and these were also, all right, weekly RBS levels down here. All right, these are weekly resistance points, which became support, 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 and we're trying to find a bounce off it. Now, this bounce off it can just be a short squeeze. This can be the counter trend bounce, and we don't know where it's going to stop. All right, it might stop right now today, might come and fill some of this in before coming down and trying to break the structure down here. Failure to break the structure will signal the indication of a move back to the top of the range. If we get a break of structure, then we're going to continue this downtrend, and that's confirmation then on sort of daily and weekly and monthly levels that we might go deeper for a retracement. So looking at the daily, what can we think about? Well, we can think about pivot to pivot, can't we? We can go pivot to pivot. Pivot high, all the way up here, down to the lows, all the way down here. You can see 50% will be a drive into Thursday and Wednesday's high. So there's definitely a ton of liquidity up there. So maybe today wants to go that high, but right now we're just knocking into some supply levels, and those are easier seen on the hourly chart. All right, hourly chart right here. So last week, those of you who joined me in Discord on Friday, you were prepared. We finally got that squeeze and breakout, didn't we? We had to wait all day for this move here, but right in the last 5 minutes of the day, short started to cover, and we filled this imbalance and squeeze and breakout. Since then, we've gone sideways and drifting higher in London and Asia. All right, market in a nice little bid up here. Shorts currently a little bit stuck. So what are the key levels? Well, if we are going to fail, all right, this basically supply here, all right, this is where we've had previous supply. We've got those equal wick highs, which I'm very, very aware of. But this is supply. We know from in terms of supply structure, we have drop, base, drop. All right, if we look left, drop, base, drop, we are returning in to that base level. So what are the key things here? If we keep drifting higher, then maybe we take liquidity before coming back down. All right, if we push and fail, you can think about if that supply structure holds, come and run London, Asia low, then we're looking at this level here where we broke out from, right? This RBS level, this top of value area high, somewhere into sort of 20,785, 730s, into the low 700. So any push into supply and failure, even shy of it or above of it, and then failure, then we're going to think about those London, Asia lows and a return back in here. If we keep grinding up here and we trade sideways or get acceptance up here, you need to be careful of this. This is what we were talking about last week. A base above this and a hold is very, very strong. And we're going to think about these next supply levels. We can extend this. We have like these sort of lower high, lower high, lower high. You can see here on an hourly. Right, we might come and start trying to attack those. So lots possible this morning. Remember, Monday is your beginning of the week. We're front side of the week, beginning of the weekly range, right? You don't need to be forcing yourself on a Monday. Better setups will come late Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as we understand what that weekly range is. Moving into the 5-minute chart, you can see what we talked about then. We have this overextension up here. We gapped up the next day, washed down on Sunday, found a bid underneath these stops, repricing this big imbalance bar. Once we found that bid, right, we put in this W shape, grind up to the highs, come back down, retest this structure. It holds firm, so we know buyers are interested down here, just under 900. And then we do a rather good push up here. So we're almost 200 points higher from that London low right now. So what does that mean? ATR's high. Again, your ATR is high. So be very aware of that. As we're drifting higher, where are we drifting higher to? Into this supply block, all right, where we did that drop, base, drop that we just went over. Drop, base, there's your bear flag, and drop. So if we reclaim this and hold above, we attack. If we push and fail, or push under and fail, we might roll down and check some of these old RBS levels out. Remember, higher time frame from a technical standpoint is still bearish, all right? Your dailies, for example, are still bearish. On the H1 if we start getting above 21, let's just call it 21,170. If we start getting acceptance above that, you could argue for that higher time frame counter trend move to be rather large, maybe going up to 380s, maybe 450s. So that's what we're watching. And then you can see these. So this level here is just something I'm watching. This is the Asia London low. I can probably just do this as orange, probably a better way to do it. So I remember it's not really firm support. What's the wick down on there? Yeah. So if we hold Asia London low, or even I would argue this pivot point of the high, I'm not really interested in buying up here, but I'm going to mark it out just for the sake of this. All right, up here, if we hold either of those, I'm going to be very, very cautious. Okay, but if we start failing, these are the key levels I'm interested in if we hold. All right, if we're going to hold this guy here, right, if this is going to be failure, take all the liquidity, some bullish pattern here for rotation back up, that would be quite nice. If we continue to fail under here, and really, to be honest, that means Friday was nothing more of a squeeze, and I'm expecting a test or a double bottom of those lows. If we break the structure of the lows, then we're obviously in trend continuation to go lower. As I flick over across the charts, what are we looking at? VIX still trading above the 19s, holding above previous day lows right now and previous day close. Key level on the QQQ, I would say, really is that 512 to 514. A break and a hold above that on the QQQ opens that door up for a move to 518, 519, like we talked about. ES very, very similar, right? ES and or SPY in a steep drive higher, trying to hold its bull flag right now. Again, it has supply overhead, 598.50s, 599.85. Big supply overhead. So the question is, do we base and go here? Location-wise, not the best to be a buyer right now. All right, on Friday, we were buying for this move up, which failed. We took some profits here, and then we got a failure inside. Rejection of IB, rolled all the way back down when Zelensky and Trump were talking. And we had that double bottom here. That was your buy for the back up. And then finally, it had enough liquidity built for the inverse head and shoulder for that expansion. So the better buying location was down here and down here. Now we're buying by supply, not ideal. Don't really want to buy early today. It either needs to break above and hold for continuation, or push in above and fail, or just tap in and fail. All right, and then we can think about buys back here, and we can think about short rotations back down. So just remember that location, not ideal to be a buyer today. It's possible they put on a squeeze. It is possible they put on a squeeze today. Let's have a look at the market. Apple. Trading at highs, all right, at highs that it set on Friday. So the highs from Thursday last week, trading at highs that it set on Friday, but just inside of range right now, not above previous day high. Microsoft with a gap up here, very, very similar look on the chart. Amazon, gap up, starting to fade back inside its pre-market range right now. Google the same, gap up, starting to fade back inside its pre-market range. Question on most of these is, can they hold previous day high and previous day closes? Meta very similar, but looks to have a bit of relative strength here, not really giving much back. Above previous day high, previous day close. Nvidia slightly weaker. All right, big drive into the close on Friday as they started closing all their puts, but so far not above that Friday close, still trading inside Friday's range. Tesla looks stronger though. All right, so I did see this morning there was a, I can't remember who put it out, but a price analyst saying, Tesla remains a buy all the way up to 450s, I think they were looking at. They think it's good value all the way up to 450s. So currently trading down at 300 right now. So a little bit of a move in the pre-market here, about a 4-point move in Tesla. So that should have us set and ready for the morning. So just to be clear, what I'm looking for, again, it's either a push and a fail in here, or a push out and a fail above for a trade back down. If we get above and we start to firm up, then I'll think about that continuation trade into these next legs up here. If for some reason I miss this failure and we trade all the way back down, I'm going to be looking to see if we hold this RBS level where we broke out from last week. And if we fail to hold that, then I'm going to assume at this point we're going to look for a rotation down to previous day lows. We do have unfinished business down here on dailies if we really want to get heavy, but I would not be surprised to see this market try and find some bids in and around these areas if we wash down, whether that's today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, for that trade back upside to come and reprice. Because remember, on a daily chart, we have absolutely melted. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and finally had that bit of a bounce on Friday. So it really depends today whether we can get a push and start taking out 400s to reprice for that mean reversion, or if we need to set that double bottom first, right? If we need to set a double bottom first before getting that, or if we're just going to get continuation of weakness in the market. Those are the things we're looking at. All right, so hopefully everyone's clear. Let's go through chat. Hopefully you all had a fantastic weekend. Good morning, Clint. Oh, no. Wow. Can you hear me now? It shows it as playing. That must have been an internet glitch that was not on my system. Wow, wow, wow. What did you all miss? Did you all miss stuff I was going over on the chart, or was it just the good mornings? What a shame. Did you miss everything? Just the good mornings. Oh, thank goodness for that. Okay. That would have been a nightmare. All right, back to the good mornings then. Good morning, Christy, Max, Joshua, Aaron, TR, Bay Trader, Leron, Pope, Craig. Hope you're all good. BU, sorry, I've lost now because some of you just telling me I'm muted. Sorry about that. Mr. Slim, thank you everyone for letting me know. Thank you. Hopefully we didn't miss too much. Happened when I moved the mic. Oh dear. Sorry about that, team. I have to check the wires then. All right, so how long till open? 30 seconds here till the open. All right, so these orange boxes are pretty much your London and Asia levels. And then we'll see what's what. Once we get a bit more confirmation on the charts, we can see what's cooking. Have a quick look at the liquidity on the book. Is there anything of interest right here, right now? No massive orders on the book. Biggest order I can see is an 85 lot all the way up at 250. So we go into the open, folks. I'll move this to a 1 minute just so you can see the open print. So far rejecting that supply overhead. And we've built that sort of trend line liquidity in London and Asia. Higher time frame narrative remains lower until proves otherwise. So there is potential that we sell back down to some of those H1 levels that we talked about. Currently just trading inside the London and Asia range. Ideally, I don't want to be playing inside the London and Asia range, but it might be a day where we remain in that range. It's very, very possible. So far, dipping down and holding low time frame algo and London Asia high. Have to see how it reacts here moving forward. Let's have a quick look at the tape. Who's getting heavy? Nvidia in a sell, Microsoft with a slight pullback, Apple with a slight pullback, Tesla looking strong, 2% up off that upgrade. Again, I can't remember who offered that upgrade this morning, but they were looking for prices all the way into the mid 400s. Being patient here, as we always are, especially on a Monday, letting the market do its thing. Let's mark out that New York Open before I forget. I've always got a habit of forgetting that. This right here. All right, so far, willingness to hold London and Asia by the looks of it. Willingness to hold the London highs. We have supply overhead, remember. So little bounce there off that orange zone, off the lower time frame algo for now. You're only 2 minutes into the day, or not even 2 minutes. So nice and patient. Bear with me, folks. I'm going to take this hoodie off. It's getting hot under these lights. There we go. That's better. Let's see what we can do here in the market. Where's the relative strength and relative weakness? A little scan around. NQ with some strength today. Market looking good. Nvidia, the weakest. Everything else green now on the Mag 7. Nvidia just under 2%. Red. ES trying to get going here. Let's see what the market might offer today. Remember, we've got supply overhead here until we break through that and can get a base above. I need to be very, very careful. We have got those equal highs at 165. That's gut instinct where the market might want to go if it's going to look to attack a ton of liquidity. All right, that's where it will want to go if it's looking to attack the liquidity. Driving up here into the overnight highs right now. Oh, what has gone on there? Moving my mouse. No, in a fat finger here. And can't get out. Can we get out of here? Close it. Well, that was fortunate because it was a lot of money. Wow. Not how I want to start my Monday, but in a fat finger moving the mouse, eh? Jeez Louise. Got away with one there, folks. Got away with one there. How amusing. So, put big size on there accidentally. There we go. Cancelled straight away. Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. Woof. Always scary. Scary way to start a Friday with a fat finger. Oh, thank God nothing was linked as well. Suspense music needed. Yes, exactly. Very, very fortunate there. I'm going to tell you. Very, very, very fortunate there. Moving my mouse must have clicked on a market buy or something, or I don't think I would have clicked anything on the keyboard, but you can watch that back. So drive into supply there. Jeez Louise, imagine if I fat fingered up there. It was a market order buy, I think. Let's check what order this was. It was market order buy. It would have got me in big trouble. All right, so still holding gains, but like we said, we have supply up here. We can look at the hourly of where it can potentially drive into. All right, it can potentially drive into up here if it wants to take all this liquidity. But that first level, it has already taken at sort of the 117s on the hourly. It has already taken that level. So did we make new highs there? So we have divergence here. NQ did make new highs in this session, sweeping London and Asia highs. ES not there yet. Sometimes luck is better than skill. I mean, it's like I always cancel out as quickly as I can if I fat finger. I don't even look to see what direction it goes in. I really don't even care. I just have to get out of it instantly. The moment it happens, must instantly get out on a fat finger. Not worth it, you know? Never, ever, ever worth it. No, I didn't. I got very lucky there, all right? Very, very lucky. And you can see, very, very, very lucky. All right, sometimes it happens. All right, let's have a little look. So divergence definitely happening in the market here. NQ finding some sellers in supply. We know it's supply. We can see it supply on the higher time frames. Remember, we can see it supply right here. But we do have a double top, but we can see this is supply. If we're going to start melting, we can come and clean up this sort of trend line liquidity that we've built and come back down underneath these into this range. This is where I'd be more interested in being a buyer today down here. So starting to find some selling here in the market. Is it going to attack these lows now? So trading back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in towards low of day here. Back towards that London Asia high. Oh, it's got me all nervous now. I'm moving my mouse around on the screen in case there's something set that I didn't realize. All right, so finding a bid there back into that lower time frame algo and into the overnight high. So far we're basing between London, Asia and the higher time frame supply. So either we get a breakdown and a wash, or we're going to get acceptance above here for that drive higher. Don't really want to participate in this area here. This is where it's building liquidity right now. You can see it, flow zones are trapped. They're going sideways. Market just making its mind up what direction it wants to go in. And we'll wait to see what happens after that. Wait to see what happens after that. I would favor downside. Not like I think it's going to happen, but I would prefer a downside move earlier in the week. If we can trade back down to where we broke out from, right, what that's going to offer is a better trade location for us to think about bidding up to the backside of the week. So if we get a Monday, Tuesday sell, that would be very, very nice. Big if. It's a big, big if. Have to see what the market wants to do here. Definitely respecting that supply overhead right now. It is absolutely respecting it. Maybe it wants to come and test VWAP. It's possible it wants to come and test VWAP here. Remember, we've got that low of day. If we start breaking low of day, we probably go straight to VWAP. We are gapping up, remember. Oh, having a nightmare here this morning. Sorry, folks. We are gapping up. Remember that yellow line is the gap. All right, so if we wanted to fill the gap, we'd need to trade all the way down to here. Here's VWAP coming up. So in a small short here, just for this breakdown towards VWAP, covering some here. If I can get a fill, there we go. And I'm going to hold some to see if we're going to go for gap fill. As we start to break down underneath those Asia-London levels, remember those were key for us. If we can stay under those, we can possibly go for that gap fill. But already covered a ton in this, what was it? Arguably late, but once we started breaking down, this is possible here right now. Here we go, starting to flush. A nice early move here. Keeping it simple. Oh, sorry, team. God, he's in a panic this morning, isn't he? So, played this, starting to break down under here. If we stay heavy versus this, I don't mind adding back on for a move into here. All right, if we start to reclaim this, I'm going to be risk off because that's where shorts will then get retrapped. So just small size. Taking this trade from here to here is like, I don't know, 40 points. We would have to stay heavy versus these for a continuation lower right now. So all the market trading into its VWAPs. Looking good for continuation for that potential gap fill. Remember, potentially there is a gap fill play coming up here. Remember, we've got a lot of trend line liquidity like we talked about. If it's going to wash it, I would prefer to be a buyer way down here. You can see this. This is easier to see on the higher time frame charts right now. If you're looking at an hourly and stuff, we're going to go and wash some of this liquidity. We can think about that trade lower. You can also wait if you're not sure yet. You can just wait for that H1, H4 bar, which is coming in 20 minutes. But I want to see pops fail now. If I'm thinking about that trend continuation, I need to see pops fail. If we start reclaiming levels, all right, if we start reclaiming this level here, the overnight level, then I'm not really interested in anything else. So does this next drive up fail? Do we get stuck here at the VWAPs? This is the question right now that we're posing. Does it go for a gap fill? Just having a look at the ETFs as well. Looking good. QQQ not too far from previous day high. Same with SPY. So I am aware of that, but so far looking good. That last push failing, adding back onto that. Can we get some more downside extension here? Would love to see a gap fill. Looking at the tape. Not too much action on the tape. Do we have a 945 number? I think we do, don't we? I'm just going to remind myself this. I'm a bit scatty this morning. Yes, S&P US manufacturing PMI 945 and then 10 o'clock more numbers. All right, so once we get through 10 o'clock, we should be clear. We do have some Fed talkers later, but not really too interested in that. Nice hit, previous day high. Yeah, previous day high on the cash I have here. So this level here is where I'm looking to cover into. So just small amount left on. Not too far away right here, right now. There we go, tagging in towards it. All the market in unison here. All right, Tesla now 3.88% down. What is this pink line I've got? It's got to be an old anchor, is it? Yeah, get rid of that. My Ninja Trader. Yeah, Peter, I'm looking for previous day high, previous day close. Between this red and yellow, remember the London Asia is down here as well. So if we can break down here, I'll cover some. And if I have enough on, I'll try and hold some into here. If we start reclaiming this level here, then all shorts are off the table, right? Because then we're back in squeeze territory. So far, we look pretty good. We look pretty good here, folks. Just holding some. Remember, entered here and added into this move. And looking for breakdowns here. Don't want a reclaim up above this. Needed to stay heavy for this move here. And try and fill this gap and previous day high. I'm going to be slightly risk off once we get here. And if we start to continue to wash, if we break down underneath these levels, oh, come on, let me draw. Let me help the folks. If we break down under here, then we're going to get trade into here. At this point, all right, this is the higher time frame level that we broke out from on Friday. So this is our RBS level. And that's where I'm going to think about, if the market offers structure, I'm going to think about bidding it back upside. Hopefully that makes sense, everyone. So do not want to see us reclaim levels higher right now. Remember, you've got news coming out in about 2 minutes. So we'd like to see the gap filled before we get to that news, ideally. Here we go. Fantastic. We're in a bit of a melt here. Very close to PDH here. Very, very close. Can we get it? That red line. So in shorts, looking for a melt. Can we get to PDH? ES tapping right now, pretty much right there. So we're very, very close. You might get a bit of front running into this. If we start watching PDH, we can think about that gap fill into Friday's cash close. Remember the yellow line on your chart. Bang, there's PDH. Can we melt down? I'm moving my stop down with this a little bit now, just in case they try and hold it. I'd love to see this gap get filled, though. Love to see the gap get filled, but don't want to be too greedy. It's a lovely trade to start out the week. News coming in about 40 seconds or so. Nice, Peter. Great work, folks. Hopefully lots of you got that there. Once we started letting go of Asia and London, once we built, this was the key signature. We rejected supply and we had this trend line liquidity. All right, that's the key thing. Lots of liquidity here to aim for. All these bulls who bid the market up, we can come and aim for all their stops, right? So that was the main reason I was looking for this. Plus, the higher time frame is bearish. Right, we know we're in a bearish trend. The question really is where are we going to set a lower high on a daily right now? That's the big question. Once we set that lower high on the daily, we will have something to risk off for higher time frame shorts. Definitely finding a few bids here. All right, so don't just keep adding and adding into this. All right, we'd like that gap fill, but if it can't build out liquidity here, if it starts to reclaim, all right, this is where squeezes happen. So just make sure you're managing your risk. Here we go back to PDH again. ES looking relative weakness here. Very close to closing this gap here now. Very, very close. Can we close the gap? Go on, close the gap for me. Close the gap for me. It would be lovely if you would close that gap for me. Almost there. PDH, washing PDH. Very careful here because if we fail to break down, we've just wicked under for a new low, but didn't quite get there. And we are finding a bid. So very, very cautious here if we start to bid back upside now. Because we know people can get trapped down here. There we go. Big bid there after washing PDH. Can we continue to go lower or are we going to find some bears trapped chasing the lows here? Like I said, any reclaims up into this range we made this morning, any reclaims, you want to be careful of this, right? So we really need it to continue down. If it reclaims, we are completely risk off and short bias goes out the window. Hopefully that makes sense, folks. Nice. So definitely a W for Peter, W for Leron there. Hopefully some more of you caught that short. Back testing interview up. Remember, we've just had news hit, not red folder. but it is still news nonetheless. 15 minutes until we get that new H1, H4 bar. Yeah, Christy, Stephen, Peter, all with the W's. Nice trade on a Monday morning. I'll take my winners on a Monday morning. Nothing wrong with locking in a winner on a Monday morning. Red folder at 10, yeah. Let's have a look. But I think we're clear after that. ISM and construction spending. What I'm looking for this week, which is will not be on the news blotter, is I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday evening. Trump has a talk, and I imagine he will be talking in more detail. I'm pretty sure it's 8 p.m. Tuesday evening. I might have to check that. He'll be talking in more detail about tariffs. That is something I will want to watch. I will want to be watching that just to give some indication of where his head's at, where we're at in negotiations with the likes of Mexico, the EU, the UK, and of course Canada. All right, because we've had a big sell-off because we've been scared of the implications of tariffs. We haven't had too much more information on it, other than some will happen and some won't. So hopefully, once we can get some more information, we can price that in. Mr. Slim with the W as well. Love it. Nice work, guys. So starting to try and reclaim trading back up towards those key levels. Back up towards here. This is where we found sellers for that breakdown this morning, remember? Still looking lower time frame, at least bearish. But if it starts reclaiming, we've got to be a little bit careful. Can it form the bear flag? If it can't form the bear flag and break down here and starts to reclaim, then obviously we go into squeeze mode. We're watching ES carefully here as well. Nice trade down to PDH. Shame we didn't close the gap, but we got close. Might still happen. Might still happen here. Are we going to go? Are we going to go? It wants to. Remember, we found buyers here. If it holds this, bullish. If we break down back under this, here's your bear flag continuation. Then I expect the gap fill. This is an efficient market if we can get down here. ES hasn't filled it either. Everything's just basing right now on, or trying to find a bid on PDH. Right, so I guess if we hold PDH on a daily point of view, that would be fairly bullish, wouldn't it? Oh, there we go. Come on, come for the gap fill. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. Almost there. Almost there. So close. Come to Papa. Locking in a bit more, just in case we find a bid here, as ES did pretty much tag it. It was like a point away or something. Come to Papa. Dominique, come to Papa. Come on. Need to see this stay heavy, otherwise I'm going to take it off. If not, don't want to reprice back up. Don't want to reprice back up. Has to stay heavy here on the tape. Locking in. That's a good morning. That is a good morning. Might walk away now, folks. Close the stream down. We're done for the day. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you lot. I wouldn't do that to you lot. Tell you what I'm going to do, though. Just grab a tissue real quick. Be right back. All right, finding a bid there. Did ES... God, ES still one tick away from the full gap fill for the cash gap. SPY has filled that gap. QQQ is almost there. So the ETFs have pretty much filled the gap here. So bulls getting trapped. Those overnight bulls, they got a bit greedy, didn't they? Push, 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 push. And they became sellers as we repriced the higher time frame narrative. Remember I said, I do not want to be long in and around higher time frame supply, all right? You never want to do that. It's a habit. You don't want to get it. Always saying we either get above supply. The only way I was looking bullish this morning was if we got above here and based. Didn't want to really trade between this, and then once we broke down, started attacking it for the fill of the gap, which we've now done. If we continue to fail, right, if we fail under here, and we're efficient now, then I expect us to reprice this. Why do I think that? Because I'm just looking at the higher time frame chart. Where did we break out from last week? Right at the close on Friday, that was the squeeze. Okay, so I expect us to come back to here, wash these people out. We have an imbalance here. If we find bids here, then maybe we can trade back upside. I'm not just going to willingly buy this, though, because the same thing is going to happen. The trend is still this, but I expect a bump in the road here. This is where shorts got stuck Friday. So if we can come into here, put in a bullish signature, I'll think about buying it back up. If there's no bullish signature, then I'm assuming we stay heavy, reject it, and roll down. So those are the two options for the remainder of the day right now. Have we filled that gap? Pretty much, haven't we? Pretty much that yellow line. It did get tagged, so gap is now filled. So an efficient market we've had here this morning. 200-point range already in the first, 20 minutes, 23 minutes. And an efficient market. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Hopefully some of you got this with me. Looking good. Never reclaimed. See this squeeze up? Never reclaimed these levels that we talked about. The liquidity was built here. So rejected it. Gap now filled. How far do we melt? That's the question. Coming in towards London and Asia lows right now. So I've got London low pinned here at about 888. And the Asia low 863. And then there's a wick low before it, let's call it 840s. All right, so drifting lower here, looking very nice. Aggressive selling. Beautiful. Hopefully some of you are either still in this or made some money with me on the short side this morning. Lovely, lovely moves. Lovely, lovely moves. All right, gap now filled, remember. Gap is filled. Getting very close to those London and Asia lows. You can see them right here. In this chart here, those red and yellow lines, that's what we're looking at right now. That's your next low hanging fruit. If we're going to continue to trade lower, that's where the market is going to aim for. Yeah, easy move gone already. Very, very easy move. Do me a favor, folks. There's almost 120 of you in here right now. Hit that like button for me. Hit that like button for me. Continuing to break down then. Remember, London low into, let's call it sort of 890, 888. And then the Asia, oh, my stomach is rumbling, into 865 and 836. All right, so if you're holding runners, that's where you're looking for a trade into. Don't get short in the hole. Don't get short in the hole. You need pullbacks to stay heavy, remember. Do not get short in the hole. 5 minutes from a new H1 and H4 candle. We are doing the damage here. These were the moves we were expecting this morning for all these moves down. Right, we can keep trading lower here. The higher time frame narrative, remember, is lower. It will remain lower until we put in that double bottom. Oh, ho, 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 ho. This is looking great now. Covering more here as we just took London out and we just missed Asia there. Beautiful. All right, looking good. Looking good. Hitting those targets there. Feeling hot here this morning, guys. Going well. What a nice Monday. So we're short on this breakdown. I added here once we started to break and covering these levels here. Previous day high, previous day close, London, and we've got Asia hanging out just here. So maybe a little bit more. We can do a bit lower here if we're going to clean out Asia. If we snap 832, right, two options happen at 832. We use that as the trap. What do I mean by that? Let's go higher time frame. All right, 832, this liquidity guy, this guy right here. All right, we either use this as the trap to sweep, and then the new H1 prints all the way back up, or we stay heavy versus it for this trade further down, right? But this guy here and this guy here are important. Coming into the new H1 bar, it makes total sense here. If we take this liquidity, all right, if we leave a wick here on the new H1 bar and then we want to reprice all the way up here, it can absolutely do that move, right? Stealing all this liquidity to move higher or move back inside the range is very, very much possible on this new H1 bar. Here's your liquidity level taken. All right, so please, please, please make sure you're paying yourself if you're in this short now. All right, you're getting into big, big levels here. We've taken all the key levels, all the key liquidity just got taken. We can still drift lower into this block that I marked out. This is your RBS level from Friday, RBS. This is where it might want to drift into. All right, that's the big level. This is where we squeezed out from on Friday. This would be a back test of it. You do not want to get short down here. All right, you do not want to get short down here, even if it melts without you get into good habits of leaving it alone. If you're not already in this short, remember I executed a short here in towards, I don't know what this is, 40s, and added back on here. We are well in the money, right? This is 2 legs down. Don't get short down here where buyers and shorts might want to cover positions back up, right? Structurally, we're just drifting lower, aren't we? There's nothing to short off here. You are in a hope scenario if you're shorting towards the lows right now. Max says, I hit T1 and sold $4,000. Very, very nice. Great start, guys. Let's hope it lasts to the end of the week. Yes, let's hope we can keep doing this. Looking good. We're looking very good here, folks. Looking very, very, very good here. Starting to reprice. Remember, we're repricing some of these areas that we squeezed out from sort of in and after the close on Friday, remember. So expecting bounces, even if it's short time, and I say a bounce, right, we can think about this move. This can then be sold back into, but we don't want to get short near here. We know we are into an imbalance level on the H1. We know. See this big engulfing candle? This was triggered by the stop run. So we're repricing here. Remember, traps can live in here. Why can traps live in here? Because we've taken the liquidity. So if shorts get caught down here, we come back upside. Doesn't mean it has to happen. I want to make this clear. We can melt all the way down, but a potential trap level for H1 is in here. So I'm just trying to make that clear for you. Under a swing low, that's a potential trap level, especially when we've got an RBS levels hitting down there. Very, very, very nice work. Yep, news at 10 o'clock as well. Absolutely. Book starting to completely thin out now. So no one left on the book. I've covered my position there as well. All right, once we started melting there, I was just moving my stop aggressively with it. Those bulls, they got a bit eager, didn't they? They got a bit eager trying to buy in supply overnight and this morning, and they got punished for it. So very, very key, isn't it? Momentum's one thing. So you need location on your side. So here, drifting lower, getting absolutely slapped as we come into this big higher time frame level. Now this becomes key now. This blue box, there and thereabouts, we can keep drifting lower, but that blue box all the way down to, I'd say, 722. That's old value area high. These are key levels here. So if buyers come in, maybe we get that turn back upside on an H1 and H4. If they don't come in, you know, previous day low is not out of the question here. Previous day low is definitely not out of the question, but everything trading into higher time frame demand right now. Everything trading into higher time frame demand right now. So potentially going to find a bid here off these levels. It's very, very possible the market tries to find a bid off these. There's the blue box. There's the reaction off it. All right, big reaction off it. How did we know? Because it's an RBS level. Keep it simple, folks. Just keep it simple. That's why I said do not get short down here in the hole. You are asking to get slapped. Liquidity on the book still very, very thin as we're still digesting that news which has just come. All right, still just digesting news this morning. So thin liquidity on the book. Just remember that. Peter, that's target hit. Another one in the bag. Lovely jubbly, my friend. Trading can be simple when you've got a strategy, can't it? For anyone who missed it this weekend, I did a video really on the psychology of trading. It's really very much about the psychology of trading, on things that you need to be aware of. And if you have a good system, it will make it so much easier for you, honestly. Like, having a good system will save you so much headache in the market. Knowing where your entry is, what your criteria is, when should you be getting in, when should you be getting out. You have to have thesis and reason for everything. And so if you understand where higher time frame bulls are, then you shouldn't be short down there, should you? Very, very simple process. If you understand the momentum of the chart, it will stop you doing anything silly, won't it? Lots of you saw it. Anyway, it's a bit of a different one this week, more of a presentation, but it's good to understand. I think my trading really started to take off when I understood my weaknesses away from the chart. All right, my weaknesses away from the chart. What was causing tilt, fear, and greed in me? What was making me like have a frequency at low level? Lots of my stuff was childhood trauma, to be quite honest with you. All right, so I had to deal with that, because if you have something in you which is like, you know, requiring someone to tell you you're really good at something, let's say, if you're looking for that validation, you're not going to help yourself. You're going to probably push too hard. There's so many things to look at. So look at the reaction. We're trying to find a bid. Still very, very early to think about it, but we are trying to find a slight bit of a bid here. Still in a downtrend, but there's definitely a reaction off that blue box so far. Yeah, it can definitely keep washing lower, but there's definitely that first bid reaction has definitely taken place on that RBS level. So I'm just waiting here. I don't want to get short down here. Nothing really for me to completely buy this back. We'd need to see something like this, some break of trend. Sorry, drawing that a bit funny, but starting to see a little bit of a squeeze here in the market. Just very, very like light down here. It starts trying to find a bid. This can still break down, remember, the trend is still down. But there's definitely a reaction off the RBS level. And if we react and we want to come all the way back to VWAP or something, it's very, very possible. But downtrend and flow zone still in place here. So far, every pop has been sold into. We haven't had like that double bottom shape to prove that this is firm yet. But we have had a reaction off it. We haven't had that big engulfing bar up either, right? Everything's still down here. But this bar here says, hey, shorts, we're covering down here. This is a level that we need to cover at. So that's why we had it already marked out this morning, already marked out. Yeah, SPY-ES, you're right, has some room to go to back test, doesn't it? But we're finding a bid here on the Qs. You're right. Starting to find a little bit of a bid here. Short starting to possibly be a little bit stuck here as they short the lows and get in the hole. So if it starts breaking upside, we know those shorts are in big trouble. Testing flow zones here. So remember, it can bear flag and break down. Very, very possible this can trade lower. We are still in the main trend on the day so far is downside, isn't it? We're just having a reaction off that H1 level. That's what we're seeing so far. A reaction off that RBS H1 level. If you joined me before stream, you would have been prepared for this. I said, if we come down here and we put in some bullish signature, I will think about bidding it back upside. All right, I'll think about bidding it back upside, because even from here on an hourly, we can come up here and then sell. Right? Or think about a 5-minute, all these things we can reprice higher to sell back down. Right? We need to go higher to go lower. It doesn't have to happen here, but like look at what we did on Friday afternoon and this morning. We went higher to come back down. It's possible that this blue area holds and we drift back inside the range. If we think about how waves work, it's possible. If we think about this as one leg, this can be the counter trend leg, and we can come back down here. So we can think about trading this counter trend. If we start to reclaim, we can come all the way back into these guys. And what I don't want to do is be short down here. Not interested in being short down here. I would rather let it wash down, come back in, reject, and tell me it wants to drift all the way down into here if it's going to do it. Lots of ifs and buts, but that's how the market is right now. Ifs and buts in the market at the moment. Yeah, same here. Just waiting. Just waiting. We've had a good trade already on stream. Some of you might have caught the second leg or added into it. I added into it. Now we just wait, right? We're waiting to see. This market looks like it wants to have a little bit of an extension here and go back upside. So trading into flow zones here. So that reaction so far pretty good. All right, so it's telling me there's signatures here saying, hey, we were respecting this RBS level. Now, what's key here is where we back test on this H1. Think about this H1. Where did I say traps live? Underneath here, between this. We've traded down. What can this do? Reprice the H1. Point of control, 953. All right. You're seeing this all play out in real time. We talked about this before this H1 candle was built. Understand the relationship. All right. Why am I talking about this on the H1? If you're thinking, what is he on about when I was saying it? Maybe now it makes a bit more sense. Yeah, maybe now it makes a bit more sense where I said traps can live in this area. You do not want to be short under these lows because this H1, H4 is likely to come up here, and then once it's pushed, maybe then it can do this move, right? Maybe then it can use this liquidity if it wants to come lower. That would make more sense than it going straight down, wouldn't it? This would have to be like major red news. You know, the world's on fire, we're going down. Otherwise, big candle, reprice, lower. If we reclaim on the reprice, if we don't set a lower high, if we reclaim, then this can be liquidity. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Probably some of you newer on stream today thinking, what is he on about? If you're struggling to understand what I'm on about, I would just advise you do my course, right? Make sense of all these things. There's a reason I can see how the market wants to move and where it wants to move to. And we go over everything like that in my course. The link is down below. It's a one-time fee, all right? Do yourself a favor. Learn the constructs of the market, how and why the market moves, what the liquidity or how it uses liquidity. And then learn a way to get in and out of the market. Don't be guessing. All right? If you're that person that's guessing all the time, start fixing that. Watch your ATR as well, folks, all right? We talked about it at the beginning. We've had swipes up to like 90 points per M1 candle here. All right, so far, rejecting flow zones. Still hasn't managed to close and hold for this move, right? Every price in has been tagged in to sell lower. This is our first retest of where we found bids this morning. If we break down under here, this is where we can go lower, maybe previous day low, which is way down here, and previous day point of control here and here. If we break under here and reject it, I would need to see it reject it because I'm getting short at a much worse position now. Remember, we were short 200-300 points higher than we are now this morning. All right, so location, terrible. Momentum, good. Location, terrible. So we would need a breakdown, a retest to stay heavy to go lower. This is very much like what I was looking at up here. The only way I was getting long is if we broke out, retested it, stayed bullish for that move up. I'm not going to just get long up here the same way I'm not going to just get short down here. That is asking to be in trouble. It's asking to get hurt. We're going to build liquidity down here and go sideways. We have tapering. Remember, we've been strong channel starting to go sideways. All right, we can range here. This is where people get trapped each side of the range. We can execute a trade afterwards. But respect the trend so far today. Very quiet this morning, chat. Very, very quiet. Hopefully you're all good. All making money. Hopefully you're just all quiet because you're focused and making money. So while we cool off, if you didn't know, Tradeify, all right, is back with a new sale for March, right? 30% off all 25, 100K and 150K accounts. That goes for any deal at all, all right? Or you can get 35% off all the 50K accounts right now. So just so you are aware, Tradeify with a big old sale. So So if you're someone that likes the 50K accounts, today's probably this month will be the best month to get them. Use code FZT to get those. So you can see here, this is the start of the W. All right, so like we said, retesting here. If we start holding above this level, it's potential to open up a squeeze back into these levels. We've got view up, previous day high, previous day close. Asia, if we start reclaiming that, we go higher. If we start rejecting this and we go back into range, we go range rotation over and over and over and over again. We've got 20 minutes left. Remember, until we get that initial balance print as well. So the long today is a counter trend long. Just look at the H1. It's a counter trend long to set a lower high. So if you're thinking about this long, have to be smart, right? Be smart. Don't be like adding late in it and holding and holding and holding and holding and holding. Market in a sell, right? Tesla 1.7% down. Nvidia 4.8% down. That thing continues to get slapped. Meta 0.22% up. Google 0.17% down. Amazon 1% down. Microsoft 0.75% down. Apple 0.5% down. So most of the market bleeding out this morning. Here's the question. Do we pivot up? We would need to see an expansive move upside, big old engulfer and a pullback and hold. Otherwise, we can just continue to build a bear flag here, but need to be very careful. Need to see an expansive move up, a pullback and a hold. Otherwise, this can just be the bear flag. So no longs in here yet. Look, flow zones are in a sell. We're in a sell, aren't we? Can't be early into these longs. And understand how big this range is, right? If you took a long right now, right, before we've confirmed, and you're going to risk all the way down here, that is a very, very large risk, almost 100 points. Might not look like enough or very much, but understand the range on today is big. Use an ATR, it will help you. If you're someone that comes to the chart and you think, oh, I didn't notice the difference between a 5-point and a 50-point candle on the day, because it's hard to see in futures. It is not like looking at a stock. You will see a big difference when you look at the stocks. Just use an ATR, it will help you. I would say the average ATR in this session is about 42 points per candle. Highs of the session are about 88 points a candle. Lows of the session are 21 points a candle. So we've got big ATR today. Yeah, Peter, waiting for the IB to set? Yeah, you can wait for that IB. Wait for the failed auction theory to set out. Not a bad idea. Same here. I'm just generally just waiting right now. Not in a rush. We took that short down for the low-hanging fruit. Everything we talked about, you can go back and rewind this. Once we started to let go of this and this, we went for previous day high, previous day close, RBS level. Here's your low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit's now gone. For me, low-hanging fruit on the day has gone. So what would be the next level? If we started to break down and reject, we could look at previous day point of control and previous day low. If we get through there, there's potential washes, but I want to be very, very, very careful down there because, again, that would be underneath the Bollinger Bands on the daily, and we all know that the market does not like to close under those. We do have unfinished business on dailies. That move on Friday did not take out those lows from like November, what is that, 19th? November 19th, somewhere around there. That low, I was surprised we didn't take it out, if I'm honest. So there is unfinished business down there if it wants to move down there. You can see the market slowed down a bit here because we are shorts are respecting that RBS. Buyers are trying to maybe hold that level, that RBS level. But momentum is still downside. So this H1 bar traded back inside the old range so far has set a lower high. So far, this H1 bar, here is its lower high. So we went like this. If we expand through here, this is a break of the old H1, H4, and we can trade down. But I do not want to get short down here in the hole. So for now, we just wait. We just wait 15 minutes or 14 minutes until we get that new IB for the day. So if you're new to stream and you're enjoying it, you're learning as you go, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button here Monday to Friday from the pre-market. We go over everything. I always try and teach what I'm looking at. Everything we've looked at and traded this morning was called before the market opened. We went over all of this before the market opened. Looking for cues to fill the gap this week. Phenom, let me have a look. So you're looking for them to trade down to 492.18. That gap down to sort of November 4th. I assume that's what you're talking about. I think that's what you're talking about. I've got that marked out as well. We tapped into, like, the top of that gap was previous day low on Friday. Starting to base out a little bit here. Like, we are building liquidity here, either for a bear flag or just for a range to go sideways where bulls can get trapped. Remember that higher time frame narrative remains lower. So far, the current H1 has peaked in and is trying to fail. Break of structure would be under here for this drive down. Ideally, you would need this. You know, all that sort of excess from Friday. If we just zoom out a little bit here. Right, this was the build of liquidity on Friday. We had a chance to go up, and then Trump started having an argument here. So we washed back down. Buyers came back in the market again. We built this liquidity end of day. There's your inverse head and shoulders. And shorts covered on Friday. Boom. Very big expansive move. This was not a small move. It's like 200-point move. We've gone gently up, trapping all these bulls here, and now we've washed them all out, coming back to the level that we broke out from. All right, so if we break down under here, is potential that we come back down into volume, previous day point of control, and previous day low. If we hold this, potential to come back inside the current range on the day. That's what we're setting up. Very likely to be a range day here so far. Very, very likely so far to be an inside bar. We failed. All of this, remember, all of this is failure on an outside bar. This is failure above Friday's high. So we're getting acceptance back, or no acceptance outside of it. We're accepting back inside Friday's range right now. Very, very probable that we have an inside bar, which will be here. And this is an inside bar range. Yeah, that makes sense. Phenom Z makes sense. Makes sense to fill those gaps. It does. Whether it happens this week or not, I'm not sure. I can understand why you would be looking at that. Totally understand why you're looking at that. At least half of you have still not hit that like button. I don't understand why it's so hard to hit a like button. It doesn't cost you a thing. People so willing to talk trash, but so unwilling to hit a like button. Come on, folks. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it, Hussein. So VIX just basing out here. It's interesting. Like VIX still trading inside the range. Failed to trade through. Is that Thursday's close? Traded up to the highs of 21. Depends how it builds out here. Hey, John, what's up? Are you in Lebanon right now, John? I think you. Glenn was telling me you're back there at the moment. Hope you're good. Hope the family and the babies all doing well. So basing out here, like we talked about, this is your range down here. All right, so failure and failure. All right, if we get above and hold, can get bullish, just need to be aware of these levels here. Previous day close, previous day high, VWAP. If we get below and hold, can trade down into the low end of these ranges. Trying not to think about too much here. Remember, this range is not actually small, right? This range is actually like around 100 points right now, so just be careful. But we are starting to coil. Cute as ever, the little one. Oh, happy days. Happy days. All right, so let's just have a look here. Starting to find some relief. VIX starting to get stuck up there at 21. Cannot get a breakthrough 21. I'm going to have to reset this screen over here. The old trading view glitch. So some relief here, back to the upside. All right, failed to break down. This flag failed to break here. Remember, shorts probably got stuck here. Here comes the relief. So where do we go to? Can we get to these as targets? If we reclaim this, we go all the way back upside. If we just sweep liquidity, we take this and we come back into this little pool of range that we've been building out this morning. But so far, we are holding that RBS level, aren't we? So far, we're holding the RBS level. Can I run a VWAP from Friday's lows? I can indeed. Let's run an anchor from Friday's lows. What we'll do it from is, rather than the first low, we'll do it from here, the higher low. That's where buyers really stepped in. And that's where we are right now. So there you go. So Friday's buyers holding price. Looking good here. I'm in this small size now as we start to retake some of these levels. And you can see the engulfing candles come in like we talked about. We wanted to see bigger candles come in. You would need to see it base above here. Already taking a partial up into this now because we're retesting daily levels. Right, so we'd need to see this for continuation. Remember, this is a big old squeeze, shorts covering. Need to hold this for any continuation. This is counter trend. Remember, longs this morning will be counter trend. If enough shorts get cooked, we can go all the way back up to highs. Ooh, looking good here, folks. Looking good here. So just a little one lot left now. All the way up towards previous day high here. And VWAP. And remember, if we get up here, we're going to think about this liquidity. So if we can use this liquidity, we can go higher. Shorts came in here this morning. They might want to sell this back down. So just waiting for more structure to be built out here. So took on that last break, that little squeeze as the volume started to step in down here. In from here for that squeeze up. Got actually a decent fill for once. And we failed to break lower. That was the signature. Yeah, I wouldn't be entering longs here. Like, I'm in from pretty early down here. I'm going to squeeze this up so you can see I'm in for pretty early down here for that move. I'll wait for it to build structure out now. You'll need to wait for it to build structure out. I need to build structure out above this, really, for this, and then above this for this. If we're going to do this for the rest of the day and come and take out all these highs, it will need to build liquidity up here. We're very close to taking this off. If we keep failing into PDC, PDH, I'm going to take it off. So it needs to hold these levels where we've just broken from, basically. Edge of this range needs to hold this to go higher. Failure to hold this means this is a squeeze out and we go back down. If it traps up here, bulls will get trapped above this. Right, so if it can't hold this, it means bulls will get trapped above this. Need to see it build out some structure here for this move. If it cannot and it gets stuck here, be very careful, because if too many bulls get trapped here, we can rotate. Tyson, quick scout there, outdone for the day. I say a scout, but it's 50 points. Yeah, that's the thing. The range in this market is massive. It's massive. You know, like you catch one decent candle and it goes. It's trying to build out here. It is trying to build out that flag here. It's a big question if it can do it or not, but it is attempting to do it. I mean, look at the liquidity on the book here as it just sort of dances around. No massive orders on the book. No massive orders. Not seeing those like 500 lots like we've had the last few weeks, or 1,000 lots. Nothing like that so far this morning. It's trying to build that flag. It's trying to build that flag versus kind of these levels here. Remember, this is the big engulfer. If we can build here long enough, we'll flip the flow zones. But you have to remember, daily levels are here. So I've already taken a little bit off into this. I'm trying to see if I can hold here, maybe even add if we start proving ourselves. Would want to get it above VWAP, really. Same price here. So buyers today have the same average price as buyers off the low, or buyers off the low today have the same average price as buyers off the low on Friday. Right here, this anchor. It's trying to build this right now. It might need to do a little sweep before it goes. But so far looking good. Flag starting to build out. Starting to reclaim here. Look at previous day close, previous day high, bang. Adding into this. So 2 lot on now. Might even sell 1 on this push in case we get a failed break here. Move my stop into the money here. Don't want to get swept out. Come on, market. Up we go. Boom. Nice little squeeze. Selling 1 just into that liquidity there because I've added into this flag. So my average price now is at 95s. Looking good here in towards VWAP. We're looking very good. This is nice. You can see that RBS level held. Starting to reclaim the internal range. Look at the orange block. That's the old sort of Asia London low or Globex. Starting to reclaim that as we go towards VWAP now. So that flag got built and we built the liquidity selling into this now. Now I'm just going to wait. Yep, so I was long on the break here and then I added on here and then selling into this now. Right, into golden zone. Start reclaiming this, then maybe we come and build liquidity up towards this pivot high up here. Big if. But remember, this long is a counter trend long. We're coming up towards point of control. We talked about this move on the hourly. Where did hourly sellers get stuck? Underneath this low versus the RBS. Where do we go up to? Reprice. Remember, this was a big kill candle on the hourly. So where do we go up to? We reprice this. We can think about a fib in here. We can think about this old point of control. We can think about supply up here. So shorts are trapped under here. Remember, we were smart. We traded short down to there, and then we started covering. Then we started buying the market up in this trap zone for a move back towards here. All talked about before it happened. This is not hindsight. This is we talked about this theory before it happened. We said, where would people get stuck? They will get stuck underneath these lows in the RBS level, right? They will chase lows. Remember, breakout sellers got short there because they're stupid, right? So they got short there and we bought back into them for the trade up. Now, the question now is, do shorts come and make a lower high up here for this move down? If not, if they are unable to make a lower high, we go on full squeeze mode. We reclaim this and we go and take out these hourly highs here, all right? Remember, when we were here last week, I was looking for a trade through this to go down. These stops are still good up here. They're still intact. Big old squeeze here. Here we go. So those shorts starting to cover now aggressively as we trade through VWAP on the NQ. ES not quite there yet. All right, it's getting close, but it has reclaimed previous day close. Boom, there we go. So ES tagging VWAP. Yeah, Tyson, maybe that's a bit harsh, but I'm just saying it how it is. All right, we don't trade breakouts, right? We don't trade breakouts. It's the easiest way to get slammed on. Squeezy squeeze. Squeezy McSqueeze as we go higher. Looking good here. Oh, those shorts are in pain. Those short sellers are in pain here as we trade all the way back up on the H1. Some smart guy called Flowzone told you that this was going to happen. We talked about it, didn't we? We talked about failure to get under this. This was the signature, this wick here, that they wanted to protect it. They tried to build a flag. They failed to break down here. This was me getting long. This was an add, and these are sell points. I'm not adding up here now. All right, now I'm just waiting. It's a big old squeeze. If you're like, what? It's not that far. 829 to almost 21,000. That's almost 200 points. Yulimar, it's not that all longs are gone. All right. It's that now you need to wait because this is a big move. This is a big move. It needs to build out liquidity here versus this. If you're thinking about long now, you've got to think about, can you find a way of getting this move up here? But remember, all right, that's on the lower time frame. Remember on the H1, what's the H1 doing? It's just repricing that last sell. Let's zoom in a bit here. All right, all we're doing on this H1 is repricing to here, aren't we? We're taking these shorts who got trapped and we're repricing up. It's very, very possible that we set a lower high here and come back down. So you've got to be careful here. It's almost like you've got to decide if enough shorts are trapped for the move to take these hourly highs, this red line. This red line. Repricing the H1 here. The easiest play was not this one here. It's probably this one here. This flag, boom. And once those shorts, because we had an RBS here, didn't we? We traded down. Think about this as a line structure. There's your break above. There's the hold. All right. So against this level that we talked about, that was your signature. Now the flow zones are trying to support price action higher, but we're inside the range now. Technically, if we hold over previous day high, we have an outside bar. We can trade back upside. All right. If we didn't get acceptance down here and we trade upside, that's great. But, and I'm going to remind you now, change the chart. Sorry. Where are we? Here's your IB high. Here's your IB low. Here's VWAP. All right. So we've traded from IB high, reject VWAP, create IB low, protect IB low, VWAP. So now the options are from here back to IB high, or from here back to IB low. Edge is gone, basically. The edge is gone right now. You can let it build liquidity and join the momentum when it's ready. But for me, edge is basically gone. That's great trend tree. When you see those swing points, helps, doesn't it? And the higher time frame, when you see the swing points, just always think most traders in the market chase. So they're breakout traders and they chase. So the market, they're the liquidity that the market wants to abuse, right? And once you can think about that and you go, okay, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to guess, right? We're not guessing. We know that those traders are going to chase the shorts sort of under here. What we're not going to do is just buy on the way down, though, because you do have moments where it just keeps going down, right? What we're going to do is wait for them to get trapped. There's a big old candle off the big level. We wait for them to get trapped, and then we let it build out the liquidity, and then we join the momentum. Much easier than being in the red all the way down here, isn't it? Joining the momentum, nice tight RR, joining the momentum, and we see if this holds now to keep going. If it doesn't hold, and we trade back in here, then these bulls get trapped, right? And we go back down on the lower time frame. So it's all about who is the liquidity and how can we abuse their stops, right? We build liquidity and then we use their stops. We build liquidity and we use their stops. And then you just got to be aware of what you're trading off. High time frame liquidity, lower time frame liquidity. Same thing over and over again. I know it's boring. It's so boring when you're on this stream with me because I'm talking about the same stuff every single day. But that's how the chart works, right? That's how the market works. It doesn't change from one day to the other. The only time it changes is when we have a big news event, right? The market will not really care about the liquidity too much on a big news event. And I'm not talking about NFP or something like that. I'm talking about like major news headlines. Yeah, that's it, ironclad. That's what works. Because remember, if you're, we talked about this like last week, so I don't want to go over the same stuff too much. But if you are an institution, you are trading thousands and thousands and thousands of contracts. So where can you get those contracts in? Let's say the institutions, they needed to buy this morning. What was the biggest volume candle? Here he is. You see this candle? This guy right here. This big old volume candle, all right? Here was people chasing the sell. Sell. So how many contracts was in there? 5,758 contracts. So if I am an institution buyer of 2,000 contracts, I can pair off, right? If they go 2,000 sell here, I can pair off 2,000 buy here and not even be seen, can't I? And now I've got my price. Whereas if I'm trying to buy 2,000 here and 2,000 here and 2,000 here and 2,000 here, very hard because I need someone to sell me 2,000. Here, They chased it. They sold 2,000 and I paired off to go back upside. So it's like you can be hidden. They buy in the stop runs. That's where they buy, and they sell in the stop runs. One day we'll get this stream nice and big. Instead of 5,000 people watching Top Step on how to chase. One day, folks. One day. All in good time. So now those buyers got stuck up there like we talked about. That's why I'm not buying up here. I was selling into this move. It has to build liquidity now. It starts failing down under here. Can get stuck. This can still be this, remember, because remember, this is H1 trading inside to try and find a lower high. If it finds the lower high, if this is it on the H1, it can trade down. Remember, this is average price of buyers so far. So think about the H1. It's done its job, right? It repriced. That H1 repriced, and it's finding sellers. So if we think about structure, it's just done this. Does it sell back through now and down into these areas? Does that make sense? Should make sense to you all. So I didn't want to buy high up there. It would have to have built big liquidity out and show me a reason to move higher. But so far, it's testing the RBS level. Right, this is where buyers came in. Wick, 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 breakthrough, retest, breakthrough, retest. Sweat this. If they hold this, it has a chance to do it. If they fail under here, we wash back down. I'm honestly on risk off now. It's a Monday, and we had like those trades short and the trades long. I'm just going to wait and let it do its thing now. One way or another, it's going to build liquidity here. Doesn't mean institutions never lose. No, they definitely lose. They definitely lose. It's just more about how they use their liquidity, right? They definitely lose. Institutions will have bad years, bad months. Happens all the time. Nice GB. GB grabbing the short. I don't know where you got it from, but hopefully you're up on the money. Got a new Apex account before the last day. 80% starting eval using your promo code. Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah, still on sale there, Apex. 80% off on Apex. So they're holding RBS, holding anchor view up. Remember this anchored view up off the low. Buyers holding that for now. So like I said, I'm waiting for it to build the liquidity now. If we're going to do this wash and reclaim, we start to reclaim this, it might be that we trap and go higher here. M5 did just pull all the way back down into that imbalance and hold off that anchor view up. So just like I said, I'm being patient now. We're trading in the midpoint in the session. We've set the initial balance. We're trading around VWAP. VWAP is not a location which I like to execute trades in, really. I just want to wait. We're not in multi-time frame alignment right now. Lower time frame is trying to go higher. All right, we can see pivoting above. Higher time frame is still thinking about going lower. So we're not in multi-time frame alignment. Right, the sells are in the H1 right now. They want to trade down. The buys are in underneath that, like the M5 and below right now is trying to hold bullish structure. All right, so you're not in multi-time frame alignment here. What do I mean by this? The 5-minute has pivoted up and is trying to hold this area to see if it can drift upside. The H1 has pivoted down and is trying to see if sellers can come here to trade downside. So we're just going to wait. I'm going to wait for alignment. Someone's going to get squeezed out the market, either upside or downside, and then we can join. Not using copy trade on several accounts. I like one account at a time. Yeah, I've been doing that this year a lot. Trading one account at a time. What my aim is build a big old buffer. I mean, but this year I'm trading a bit different to other years. I'm trading 150k accounts. I would like to build sort of $8,000-9,000 on each of those, and then start trading them together. Even if I size down and trade them together, then and just slowly grow them. So most of them are over the pay point already. They're over 5,000. Some are at like 6,000 and 7,000, but just slowly growing them. and then just keep them. The nice thing about Apex is once you do that and you get rid of that trailing drawdown, once you're comfortable with your strategy as well, you can start sizing up and scaling. And then once you get to that, is it the fifth payout? I always forget which payout. Fifth payout, you can take all that money out. So if I get 10 of these accounts up to like 40, 50 grand by the end of the year, or maybe even before that, it'd be very nice. If I get 20 of them, it would be really nice. And that's just Apex. I start trading them alongside my accounts elsewhere in the other firms, we can have a good year. So my aim is to just slowly build and have that monster payout towards the end of the year or the backside of the year. I'm not in a rush to get it because I know I'm going to get paid every 30 days no matter what. I know on some firms you can get paid every day or every 5 days, and I'll also be doing that. But with the Apex ones, I just want to get to that final payout. That's the main job. Build up a big old nest egg and take it all out. So reclaiming the view up here, right? So it's trying to hold these levels. It's trying to build this now. This is what it's trying to do for this trade up into these. There are some sellers here at view up right now. So like, again, I'm just waiting for this to make up its mind. VIX is trading back downside. Everything is looking kind of bullish here for a potential squeeze out. Apple now flat on the day. Google just about green. Meta 1/3% up. Tesla looking good. Nvidia not looking so good. Market trying to find this shoulder here. It wants to try and find this shoulder here and move higher. So that pullback into this level holding. If it builds this shoulder here, we can think about this long now that it's shown that buyers are taking control here. Don't want this to get stuck here and create a new range. That's what you would not want to see. But the RBS level definitely holding here, which is good. And if it holds view up and really starts to get going here, ES at previous day high, as is the SPY, if we're really going to start expanding over previous day high, we can think about that move to the IB high, can't we? We can think about IB low to view up to IB high if we're really going to get going here. So watching this long. Looking for sellers on the tape. No big size on the tape, which is not a good thing. I would love to see a monster seller up higher. So I can use his liquidity as a magnet to get up there. 21,052 is the target. 052. Or the New York Open around there. Yeah, very, very possibly up to New York Open. Here it goes. Here it goes. So in this small lot here, view up to IB high. Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? To get a full rotation would be good. Needs to hold though. It needs to abuse these stops. We are looking very, very different here between the ES and the NQ. So NQ hasn't taken out that short time high at like 990. ES has taken out the equivalent of that. But they are both trading above PDH and PDC. So we just have to see here if they're going to hold their gains or not. Made 1.3 thousand on 20 Apex evals. I need 300 more. Just take your time. Don't think about the money. Just the next trade mentality. Don't worry about how much you need. Just next trade mentality. When the setup's there, you trade it and execute it. It was a good long from the down close candle. Yeah, from here into anchor. Yeah, holding that RBS was nice, wasn't it? Swept the internal lows. Just swept this internal low. Held the RBS. You want to see it build this out to go. You do not want to see it trade back down into here. I think a trade back down into there is very ugly at that point, all right, because it's failing to take this. ES has already taken the equivalent of this high out. Failure down into here gets a little bit ugly. So you want to see it hold really these flow zones, hold these daily levels for expansion. Failure to hold these, like I keep saying, not very nice. They are not very nice if it fails to hold them, which is starting to do now. We got a failure to hold above previous day high there on the ES. VIX finding a little bit of a bounce here. Use micros, Mr. Slim saying, yeah, I think that's for activate above, exactly. No need to force your way into this with big lot sizes unless you're very, very comfortable when you're trading. You understand your risk. Not sure about this right now. Not sure about this. I feel like sellers are trying to take control here. They're just back into this internal range here. What I don't like is that ES took out that high. Trying to absorb it. Let's see. Let's see. If they kill it versus 57 or versus VWAP, I'd be very, very, very cautious if they kill it versus that. QQQ holding PDC. Big levels here. Big daily levels here right now. Big levels here, H1. We've got 10 minutes until a new H1 bar as well. 10 minutes till a new H1 bar, or just over 10 minutes. Can you excuse me, team, while I put another coffee on? I'm not going to be long. I'm going to make note of you. 124 here. I'm going to put it on and come straight back, all right? Don't panic. I'll be straight back. All right, there we go. Yes, starting to reject that level we just talked about, didn't we? That last drive up. So got to be careful here. If we start to break down, I think the trend, we might start being a little bit aggressive to the downside of it, especially if it starts letting go of that RBS level. If it starts letting go of that RBS level where we found these dips, right? So these are key levels now we're coming into you. Where do I think it will end up? I have no idea right now. I have no idea right now. Gut says that this... I don't think we break yesterday's low today. I don't think there's a reason for the market to need to do that today. I think today is a bit more of a liquidity building phase. If you look at that daily, we had that big sell-off last week. Friday, that little short squeeze into close, which made us nice and green. Today, we've repriced a little bit higher. We haven't swept all the H1 liquidity out, and now we're sort of just dancing in a range. So we just need to let this market decide. 20,500, or what you think there today? I mean, if it comes down there, it might as well then take out November's, what date is that? I keep forgetting the date, 19th low, 20,388, if it's going to go all the way down there. I mean, I don't know. So far, it's just dancing. You know, it's just doing a dance here this morning. Well, not this morning, but in the last, how long has that been? Last 20 minutes. Hey, what's up, Thumper? Jack saying, good morning, boys. Out of town for a few days, make some money. We're trying. No, we're up very nicely today. We're up very nicely. Seeing what this market's going to do here. Does it start to let go? Remember, this can be... Remember that we talked about this H1. H1's done its job, which was pricing up here. What you need to be careful of on the new H1, if it sweeps this high and trades lower, or if we just go and break down. This current H1 has probably done most of its job. Probably done most of its job right now. And we're coming into a new hourly transition shortly. So I've got a pot of coffee brewing. As soon as I hear that ding, I'm going to go and grab a cup. A cup of Joe. Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Peter. I think you got the short and you got a piece of the long, and now we're starting to trade sideways. It's a Monday as well, team. It's a Monday. Remember, Monday, Tuesday set the tone for the week. Monday, Tuesday set the tone for the week. No need to like force anything beyond that, if that makes sense. We just wait here. Along to that new H1. I'm tempted to just wait for that new H1 now, if I'm honest. Going back up to point of control created. M5, like I said, is bullish. Just trying to hold. There's potential for a breakdown here. There's definitely potential for a breakdown here in this market. Now that the H1 has set that move. Yeah. I'll be honest, Max, on well, depending on what I'm trading, but normally on evals, I just like to get them past. So I normally trade them a bit more aggressively than I would for the account when it becomes a PA or a live. Not that I don't respect them, but I don't mind being a bit more aggressive on an eval and getting it done. Don't want to waste too much time when I'm doing evals. But I understand what you're saying. Profit target for a take profit trader to get payout. You just need to get above the buffer, and then I think you can take a payout every single day. So I would assume the buffer on a TPT is like 2,500 or something, but maybe someone else can. I don't trade with them, but yeah, 2,500, and then you can take daily payouts. You probably need a minimum for that daily payout. I'm guessing it's like 250 quid or something. So still holding the anchored view up here, still building this liquidity. 2,000. So there you go. So once you get above 2,000, all right, then you can take daily payouts on the 50K. That's pretty good, isn't it? So you get above 2,000, and then each day, if you have 5 accounts, you make $500. You can take $2,500 out a day. It's $500,000 a year if you just keep doing that. Or $500. You can make $500 with 2 micros in this market very easily. Very, very, very easily. You made $2,375 on TPT this morning. So you could take out $375. That means Crawford. You can take out the excess over 2,000. And then whatever you make tomorrow over that 2,000, you can take that out as well. And then you can keep doing that again and again and again and again. Or you can wait if you don't want to take it out. But if you take $375 out, it's paid for that take profit trader, hasn't it? That's your first payout ever. Congratulations. Congratulations. I love to hear that. Love to hear that. It's really good work, man. Nothing I like better than seeing you lot doing well, honestly. It's the best feeling. It's the only reason I turn up here every day. I'm going to be honest, like I'm not used to the trolls and stuff like that. Not something I'm used to. And it is weird. Like the amount of people that, I don't know how to say it, love to find something to hate, but you guys make it worthwhile when you're turning up every day and you're winning. It makes me feel so, so good. So, so good. You made burrito money this morning. Hey, or at least you can buy lunch. At least you can buy lunch. All right, so you've got to be careful here how they use this liquidity, all right? We're starting to potentially do this for a trade back downside. What I'm waiting for is this new H1 bar. All right, waiting for the new H1 bar. H1 bar will just dictate what we do next. Remember, feels like we want to have a little drift lower, but we have an RBS level, don't we? We have an RBS level, so we're going to try and respect that RBS level. If we start breaking under it, everything changes. How long we got? 4 minutes. I think that was my coffee going. I'm going to grab that in a second. Just watching this into the new H1 bar, and then I'll go and get my coffee, if that's all right, folks. Need my caffeine in the morning. So here we go. Bear flag trying to break down here a little bit. Starting to try and come and clean up those lows. That main low down here. Remember, on an M5, you have like this engulfing candle. This is where the buyers came in. So an M5, this is sort of the imbalance, right? Oh, somewhere in here. It's where buyers came in. This is your RBS level right here. So all the time they're protecting that on an M5, etc., you're looking good. Watching this now. We're starting to break down here. That bear flag starting to try and play out into the start of that new H1 candle. Reagan Everett becoming a Flow Zone Pro member. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. So into those anchored VWAPs, you've got a couple minutes left. Sweeping that liquidity now, like we talked about. There's the drive down. It's starting to sweep all this liquidity out. Selling into that new H1. Just tagging into that 5-minute imbalance there after sweeping. So just be careful here. These are the levels of interest now. Activate. How many Apex accounts do I have? I think I've got like 13 or 14 150s at the moment. And I've got all my, I think they're called Traderify accounts, which I haven't touched recently. I'm just waiting to trade those in line with Apex once everything's over the buffer. And I want to move to like I want to move to 20, 150K Apex accounts. That's what I'm trying to do, just slowly but surely. Take payout, buy more, take payout, buy more. And then maybe after that, I'll look at TPT as well. That'll probably get me up to like 30 counts total or something, or just under. That's plenty. What I like though is I like it when I can manage them all in the same way. Yeah, when I can manage all my accounts in exactly the same way. What do I mean by that? Where I don't have to worry about trailing drawdown on some and not the others. I like it when they're all well past the buffer and I can manage them. So we're into this imbalance here. We're into this RBS level. If we start to break down here, we're going to come and try and attack the IB low. Remember, VWAP to IB low. If we're going to hold this here and trade upside, this is where squeeze potential can happen. And we're into a new H1 candle coming in just over 30 seconds. So I'm going to watch this H1 bar form, and then I'm going to go and pour myself that coffee, which I've just heard ding on the brew. If you use take profit trading on TradingView, how can trades be replicated? I'm not sure. If you're executing on TradingView, I don't think Trader8 will copy it, will it? In the Trader8 copier. So maybe someone else can say that. Exactly, Max. That's what I do. Exactly the same. Here's your new H1 bar. So look at the last H1. We left big wicks both sides. All right, there's the RBS, higher time frame. Drove up, set the lower high, came back down, just closing near the low. So it's just got to do a bit of a dance here. Activate. It's not that I like them better. I think the 50Ks are much, much better accounts. They're easier to pass and they're easier to get payouts from. My aim this year, right, is to push myself and take some bigger payouts. So to do that, I need to size up. And to size up, I need a little bit more wiggle room. So that's basically why I'm using the 150Ks this year. That's the only reason. It's not my best advice for people. I think 50K is easier to pass, easier to take money out of the market, nice and easy. You can scale them all together. Easy, easy, easy. But that's why. Hope that makes sense. All right, team, give me a minute. I'm going to pour this coffee and I'll be right back. What we got going on then? Not a lot. Dancing between the range. Right. Failed to take this high. This is where we had divergence. ES took that high. Pulled inside, created a bear flag, diving back down into an RBS level. Here's your liquidity. If it uses this, it goes upside. If it builds bear flag, rejected this, we continue downside. Market not really too sure what it wants to do right now. It knows it's trading in between some key levels. Trend tree. I blew my top step 50k accounts roughly last month. I got back the 50k combo challenge last Friday, which was 228.25. I got back in the 50k combine challenge. Okay, so you're trading those again. Have I heard of Trader Sinker? Yeah, I have. So web-based copy where you can have multiple feeds without having platform running. Only the one have you. Yeah, I have. I think I'm in their Discord, or I might have like left it. They invited me when they first started. I didn't know if they were up and running actually fully yet or not. Can't you just keep more buffer in the 150k and do the same thing? Yeah, totally, Crawford. You absolutely can. Absolutely, you can. It's more just like the scaling. If I'm going to get there and I want to like get going, need a bit more room. But you absolutely can do that, and it's the way I would advise doing it. Which means my first 4 payouts would be a bit more than 100 than the 50Ks. But yeah, lots of ways to do it. 50Ks is definitely the easiest. I've seen lots of people do it with 50Ks. Look at the guys on Apex. Yeah, Pat took, 600k out last year on the 50Ks, but then you look, guys like Jade, who's up like 1 point something million right now, or maybe 700,000 cash, but 1 point something million, including his payouts this year, I think. Kane last year, they both did it with 150s. Just have that little bit more room to breathe. Take care, Peter. Nice work. This market just doing a little bit of a dance around right now, deciding what it's going to do. I'm going to move this orange level. All right, going to remove that. I don't feel like we need that in now for Asia. London. Market just has to decide it. It's still holding the 5 minute. All right, so on a 5 minute, still holding this engulfing bar where we broke out from the RBS. So we've repriced in here. The question is, does it do this? If it starts letting go of this, then my bias is more for downside. Of course, that's reset this. Of course it has. There we go. So it's trying to reclaim again. So is it just going to hold that imbalance and drive upside here? Left you on the wrong screen, didn't I? There we go. Just want to let this build out and make its decision. Let it build out. Flow zones above the 1 minute are all in a downtrend. They remain downtrend. Like the M5, M15 flow zones are all very, very, very heavy. H1 has done its main job, really, of repricing higher. It's about the location now. Bulls are still holding from Friday and today. If we take this out on an H1 and fail, then I definitely am more biased to come to the bottom of today's range. If we reclaim this and we start squeezing, then it's potential to go back up to IB high. I know it's an if-or scenario right now, but that's just where we are because we're in the middle of the range. Remember the extremes today, we were short here, we were short here. And then from this point here, we were looking long, and we were covering into this. Now we've done the easy move. We've done the reprice. Now the market has to build liquidity for that next move. Low-hanging fruits are gone. They have gone in this session. We got them. We got both of them. So either start breaking down here for a bigger bear flag and then move back towards these lows, or we start reclaiming and setting that squeeze to slowly run higher. We're underneath the VWAP and we're between the anchor VWAPs right now. Anchor VWAPs from low of day, currently 2 VWAPs. So no real interest in trading this. You can see the volatility's come right out of this market for now, as is the volume. Once it makes a decision, it will be easier once it makes that decision. Cleaning up my charts here. Blue collar, yeah, wouldn't it just be lovely to trade the chart right to left? Oh yeah, I'd love that. Shame we can't see what's happening on the right. Letting this build out. Either this bear flag breaks down and we go back and test those lows, or we hold this RBS level, and then maybe it can try and reclaim the VWAP and trade back towards those highs. 50-50 right now, what it wants to do for the rest of the day. Crawford saying headed off to work. Have a good rest of the day. You have a great day at work, my friend. Well done taking a payout. Well done. Always a big step when you get your first payout, when you start making money. It's a big step. Build that confidence now. Trying to hold this RBS level. It's interesting here. What are you going to do, market? Liquidity's like basically completely left right now. Nothing really on the tape. Yeah, well, you're right, Blake. And the thing is, because it's done the main moves, right? So now it's stuck between some key levels. So now it has to take its time and build that liquidity to go and use those key levels. That's what it has to do now. GB from the morning. I don't know what you mean, Mr. Sim. Or are you talking to someone that I can't see? GB, still short. Oh, you're still short from earlier in the day. I understand what's going on. GB still short. He's looking for a trade lower. I understand. It's very, very possible. It's just that everything's flattened out. Here's your flow zones. Here's the deep pullback. Anchor view up, anchor view up, view up. Previous day close, previous day high. Lower time frame algo. It's like all getting condensed here. This is where we build liquidity. If we start breaking down and abusing everyone, it can definitely trade lower. Same if it gets up here, we can go and reprice back into these levels. But high time frame narrative is low, especially after H1 did that damage. Looking good here. Starting to break down a little bit. It's still protecting that 5-minute imbalance for now. Can probably just draw it on. It'll help you in it. Right, this is basically the engulfing candle that we set through that RBS level. And so it keeps coming back into here. This is where buyers came in. This is where sellers got trapped this morning. This is where buyers came in and played the market higher. Buyers are currently a little bit trapped up here. Sellers are trapped down here. So we're trading between these levels while it builds out liquidity. week below 858. This transition. Yeah, I mean, if it lets go of these VWAPs, yeah, maybe down to here. But you got to remember those short sellers are stuck near the low of day right now. And it won't be able to get down there until they blow out, basically, I think. Until if these guys are all out, it will be more willing to go down there. What's tricky is just the H1 right now. I'm watching these H1 bars. Very, very tricky. Yeah, all these things are true. Like, we're just stuck, like I keep saying. Previous day close, previous day high, VWAP, anchored VWAP, deep pullback flow zone, normal flow zone. Everything is very, very tight right now. Right? It's building liquidity here. Just let it build. Don't worry about getting involved. Let it build. Join once it becomes clear and obvious what it wants to do afterwards. Let it build for now. Just going to repeat for those who missed it, right? Traderify has a new sale on. 30% off all accounts, 35% off all of your 50K accounts right now. Best code to use for that, FCT. So if you like your 50Ks, you got 35% off those right now. Any single one for the growth, advanced, or straight to funded. Never been a better time with them to get a 50K account. So you can have 5 of those. Oh, this market's going to send me to sleep. Going to send me to sleep. Come on, market. Let's do something. I don't think I'm going to get another trade here, but I'm actually okay with that. But doesn't feel like I'm going to get another trade here right now. Trying to build that inverse right shoulder right now. It's just so tight. It does not want no. And the book is ugly right now. Just scattered tiny lots everywhere. There's nothing on the book of interest. Nothing at all. VIX drifting back down. Ugly, ugly, ugly. It's going for that little right shoulder that we talked about, that inverse right shoulder. Previous day high and VWAP above. Just getting trapped in this range. Building liquidity here. Well, it makes its next decision. Back and forth and back and forth. And you see it on the lower time frame, back and forth, trading between this pivot and this pivot right now. So either bear flag, break down, or reclaim and trade upside. Nothing to do until it makes its mind up. We are holding this 5-minute imbalance though. We are underneath view up. Hopefully an inside day tomorrow. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Create some liquidity at the lows and then make its decision. I wouldn't mind like drift high, small day, and then big expansive day lower. That would be pretty sweet. But too many shorts get caught, it's very possible we trade upside. As in for the rest of the week. If too many shorts get caught at the lows, very, very possible. Again, lots of news coming this week. And I think, I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday evening. I want to say it's 8 p.m. Eastern time that POTUS is talking about, like the tariffs. And that will matter. It really will. NFP Friday, is it really? Well, that will also matter. Give us a good indication of where we're at. God, I'm literally going to sleep here. Feels like it wants to go higher, but I don't want to bet on that. Not given what we're doing. Brad, first time here, really enjoying it. I'm new to learning all the terminology. Where should I start? Start on my channel. All right, there's a ton of videos for free on my channel. So there's a section called like beginner to advanced trading or something like that, or educational. Start there. Make sure you like how I teach, and if you do, you can always do the course. Right, one-time fee. I go over everything in the course, all the setups, all the terminology, absolutely everything. One-time fee, no monthly subscription, none of that nonsense. But make sure you like how I teach first. Go through some of the YouTube education first. Make sure you like how I teach. If you're enjoying this stream, then you probably do. The market stuck here at VWAP, previous day high. ES stuck at previous day close. It cannot make its mind up. What it wants to do right now? Maybe get some relief here. Remember, we have not taken these highs out. 1, 2, 3. But ES on this push did take them out before drifting lower. But it feels like it's going to get some relief here. This imbalance here starting to hold. This is the RBS level. Remember, we talked about it. Sellers were trapped down here. They became buyers through here. If they start getting out break even and we start absorbing, this move here becomes more and more likely. If we can hold through VWAP, abuse these guys, push, pull, then IB high is not out the question for the rest of the day. It really isn't. Starting to get going here, isn't it? Look at this drive. Through VWAP now. ES coming into VWAP right now. Watching ES. ES tagging VWAP. SPY just about through the VWAP. It's looking good. So it's looking like it wants to abuse those highs that we were just talking about. That's where the stops are, up into 83 and then 990s, and then through that into 21,080. He is finding some sellers just above VWAP for now. Still think this has got the chance to go and take those stops out up there. So that buy signal working nicely here as we start to coil. How we act once we get above this is key. That's where all the liquidity is. It's all up there. Right, so you got, like we just talked about, stops, 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 short seller stop, short seller stop, short seller stops, short stuck under here. Held this, held again, trying to hold again, running for these liquidity pools. Only thing I don't like is ES already took them out on the drive that was here. If we get above this and start to base, the move into IB high is not out the question. Notice we're in a high time frame liquidity building stage. This is what I kept saying. We're dancing and building liquidity, but so far shorts are starting to get abused. Through here, you can get a stop run. Oh, yeah, you're welcome, Brad. No worries. No worries at all. not like not huge selling into 21,000. I think it wants to get there, but there's not massive selling up there. Market, complete mixed bag on the Mag 7 right now. Complete mixed bag. Tesla 2.5% up, Meta 0.5% up, Google 0.25% up, Apple about 1/3% up, Nvidia 3.86% down. Here go the stops, right? Starting to run those stops now. Amazon 1.14% down, Microsoft 1/3% down. So starting to run the stops. This is what we were talking about. This is a short squeeze now where these stops are starting to be abused, right? So the next level will be 89, and the next level after that will be 2108. All right, so we've taken this guy. Can we take this guy out and this guy out? That's what the market's looking at the moment. That's a lot of accounts there, Max. Yeah. I mean, there's other firms as well, but you really don't need that many. I really think but you can definitely farm them. The reason I like Apex is that you can take the full amount out. Yeah, you can take the full amount out, whereas the others will move you to live, which is fine. That's also great. But it is nice to be able to take that full amount out. The ES trading back towards its VWAP right now, so couldn't get through previous day high, trading back towards VWAP. We're still in that liquidity building phase. Remember, this candle here was a squeeze, so if it can hold here, it has a chance. If it can't hold there, then that could be a squeeze out and a reprice back down, and we do the same thing over and over and over again as it starts to or continues to build out liquidity. There you go. So big sell all the way back down to where we just came from. ES failing to get through previous day high. It's massive liquidity building phase here. Doesn't seem like a lot, but these moves are decent or decently sized. So you must be careful. Once we abuse one side, it might want to come back, abuse the other. That's what it does when we build liquidity, right? When we build liquidity, it can abuse this side. It might want to come back, abuse this side, might come back, abuse this side over and over again. If it can't hold it, then I expect it to come and take these out. If it can hold this, then expect this to hold and go through here. But this was a big sell candle there. All right, someone got out here. That doesn't happen by accident. Liquidity on the book, very, very, very thin right now. It's not very nice. Not many participants in this market because they know the low-hanging fruit is gone, really. They'll come back in if we start breaking some key levels. But all the time we're dancing sideways in and around all these levels. Lower time frame algo, VWAP, anchored VWAP, previous day high, previous day close, flow zones. All the time we're just dancing around. The big participants are not going to be that interested. Right, just to give you a heads up, Donald Trump's going to make an investment announcement now at 1:30 today. He just came out with it. All right, so again, unscheduled, now just like needs to talk more in the market about investments. Probably off the back of his crypto stuff he said yesterday. So you have to be aware of that. Have to be aware of that. It will move the market. When he talks, the market freaks out. No one knows what he's going to say at any one point. I think over the weekend he was talking about a crypto fund. Back inside this range that we just created. It's ugly. This is very, very ugly right now. No liquidity on the book. Like I said, it's very, very thin on this book right now. You have to be careful. They can drop this all the way down and run for all those stops at the lows. Back down to the anchor VWAP again. Building liquidity, like I said, not interested in this until it makes its decision. I don't mind joining once it makes its decision. I've got no problem doing that whatsoever. It just needs to make a decision. What I don't want to do is become the liquidity. Everyone in here right now is becoming liquidity. If you took this, that's all right. You got a partial out. But right now, you might become the liquidity, and that's not ever my game plan. I never want to become liquidity. I want to abuse liquidity. Yeah, exactly. The market, it is moving on what he's saying. And the reason the market's moving on what he's saying right now is because nothing is priced in. We don't know the impact of the tariffs right now, right? And then he came out yesterday and he said something about a crypto fund, completely out the blue. Like no one was prepared for this. Like, oh, we're going to be the best crypto place in the world. And I think everything started to rally off that, like ADA and Ethereum and some of the others. And it's like what the market likes to do is have certainty, right? We like to price in things which are certain. So if he can give more than just like these broad-based statements of, oh, we're going to do tariffs, that doesn't mean anything. What we need is, this is the tariff we're going to do. This is the date it's going to happen. This is the percentage. Then the market can price it in. That's how the market works. We have to price in stuff that's happening, right? So if we can't price it in, it's problematic. Look at this dance. This market does not know what it wants to do. Does not know what it wants to do right now. Feeling like it wants to drift lower, but it's struggling to do that drift like it should. Yeah. So maybe come for these stops down here. But again, this M5 imbalance, old RBS level, same thing, over and over and over and over. It might just wait for him to talk now as well. Lunch 30 minutes away. You got a new 15-minute bar here. New 5-minute bar, new 30-minute bar. Always remember that market is forward-looking. We price things in ahead. So as the moment we have some news or something that we can price in, we will. So if we think inflation is high, we price the market down, right? If you think earnings are going to be good, there's a reason that earnings drop when they're good sometimes is because if we anticipate those earnings are good, we already price it in. And then when the earnings come out, we sell into the retail who starts buying it. Yeah, so that is exactly why the market moves. It's the same thing with anything he's talking about on tariffs or anything like that. We will price it in. The moment we have some idea of certainty, we'll price it in. It's trading right on its 5-day right now. So everything just flattened out. We can't do much here when it's flattening out like this. We can't do much. Mag looking a little heavy here, I must say. Everything got suddenly gone red other than Tesla. But Meta, Google have a chance to find some bids on their PDCs. Yulamar, am I looking at NQ? Yeah, this is NQ. What do you mean? I only ever look at NQ. I don't understand, Yulamar. I see you here all the time. What's that question? You know I'm looking at NQ. Maybe we come and clean up some of these lows down here. But I'm watching the liquidity on the book. It's not that attractive. But maybe we have a lot of stops down here. Maybe it wants to raid this, and this, and then make a decision. Or obviously it can sell down there. But maybe these stops down here might be abused. Failing to take out this high, these might get abused here on a breakdown. Just be very careful of this 5-minute imbalance here. I'm very, very wary of that. And if we drip down here, it keeps getting finding a bid off that 5-day on the ES. Caps had a few decent MES trades on the earlier IBL to view up. Nicely green now waiting until after whatever Trump announces. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it says that he's talking about investment, so I don't know what that means. You know, what does that mean? Investment announcement at 1:30 Eastern Time on Monday. That's what the White House said without offering any details. Could mean anything. Maybe it's to do with crypto. Who knows? Ironclad. I'm starting a new program called Long My Stops. Yeah, I mean, wiser people have said where you look to stop out is where you should be entering. You know, that's basically what market makers do. Feels like it wants to drift low. It's just struggling to do anything. I'm feeling it wants to clean these guys out down here. But again, you've got to respect this grey box. It's where we found buyers all day. That's like your RBS level all day long. But it's starting to break here, starting to travel into that. You've got that anchored view up from Friday's low where we found those bids. Again, we've got lots of stops down here into 800. There's nothing on the tape, though, really. There's a 75 lot at 800, but it's not like... Oh, it's not making me think, yeah, we're going to slam down there, but it's starting to look a little bit better here. Tesla's starting to sell a little bit of a pullback. Market's starting to bleed, though. Like I say, Google and Meta can find bids, but the rest starting to bleed a little bit. Yeah, I did read that I don't know if it's true. Zelensky saying that rare earth deal is back on the table. Obviously, he spent the weekend with Keir Starmer in the UK and Macron and stuff. And then apparently he said he's ready to do a deal on it, but you know, I'm not holding my breath on anything. One thing I would say right now in this market, the only thing that's certain is uncertainty. The only thing that's certain is uncertainty. So finding a bid. Did we sweep? No, still double bottom. Still think this should go lower first at this point, but again, market will do whatever it wants. Still no position here, just waiting, letting it chop around. I'd love to get one more trade. A 5-day moving average on ES holding up. The H1 on NQ is starting to annoy me the last few days. The amount of times we have done this where we don't take the high before washing over, it's prevented me from taking so many trades. It's starting to really annoy me, the NQ on the H1. That's the third, it might be the third day in a row we've done that, actually. It cost me that big trade last week. Those on stream will know what I'm talking about. Looking for a trade over an H1 level to then come back down and trap those traders. And it did not do it. I can't remember what day it was. Let's have a look. It was this day here, Thursday. Thursday last week, that cost me a monster trade. All right, here we go. It's starting to look like it wants to break down towards those lows. ES already coming into those levels. Got to be careful here. Market feels like it wants to drift lower and clean up some of these levels, though, for sure. Here it goes. So can we clean up 84s and then underneath? There we go. So there's double bottom on 84. Come on, you can get lower than that. You can get lower than that, market. There we go. So cleaning up 84. Can it keep going lower now? See if it can trade all the way down into 800. Clean up this yellow line. So we've taken this set of stops. Can we take this set of stops down here into 800? Here it goes. So 40 points away right now. Remember, buyers came in down here. So if you're not in the short, you don't want to be adding into here. All right, so you either got in for this breakdown, partial and holding. You don't want to add into this area where we know buyers were. So back into the imbalance. Filled that whole M5 imbalance right to the bottom of that grey bar. Yeah, exactly, Max. Thursday and Friday, same thing. Very, very annoying. It's the difference between me having a really good setup and me having an okay setup. If we take H1 highs and then like slap down lower, that for me is like an A+ setup. That's when I'm like, yeah, money on the table is coming. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a big difference. Feel like we want to attack 800 here on the Qs. We want to go and sweep this level down here, 806, let's call it. That's what it wants to do. If we do that, it's likely that the ES will take out IB low because it has relative weakness here. If it can't clean up those lows, then we go back inside the range. Remember, this is the M5 imbalance. Back inside the range if it can't clean up those lows. Nice, Max. Yeah, I think you did call out what you're looking for. 840. Yeah, we pretty much tagged it, didn't we? 841.50. So the bottom of that imbalance. Starting to see a little bit of action down there. 825, 810, 800, 750. Not huge lots, but starting to see some people there. Yeah, just scratched it, exactly. Got there or thereabouts. Still think there's potential for a trade lower, but again, we've got to remember, down here is where shorts got stuck this morning. This is where buyers came in. This is where shorts got stuck. If we're going to clean these guys out, we come all the way down here and abuse their stops. At that point, I'm going to run out of any trades left, because then we're going to be thinking about initial balance trades, and the IB right now is in that higher time frame RBS. So maybe we sweep and turn inside, maybe we expand and go lower, but I don't love that trade on a Monday. I'm going to be honest, I don't love that trade on a Monday. Unless Donald says something that really scares the market, I think it's more likely that we just go back and forth and back and forth. Back and forth and forth and back and forth and forth. My Wu-Tang on for the market today. Make your mind up, market. So ES under those lows, underneath those relative equal lows. Only thing left for ES to go for is low of day right now. We look pretty good here. But if it protects low of day, it's protecting the IB. Remember, if it protects low of day, it's protecting the IB. I would like to see NQ sort of come and clean up 805, 803, 800, but maybe it just can't do it. Maybe it can't do it. How long? 20 minutes to a new H1. It's coming into big H1 levels here. Remember, these are the open and closes of the old H1 bars where we're at right now. Nice, Arturo. Yeah, very nice. Good work. So failure to sweep all those lows out, swept one level only. And finding a bounce from there for now. Trading back towards flow zone. See if it builds out a bear flag to go lower here or not. Or if they're just going to keep holding these levels and rotating inside IB to VWAP. Those are the questions right now. I would prefer, like I said, I prefer this to just come and clean up some of these lows, all that liquidity at the lows. That would be the better trade right now. is if we can fail from here and come and clean up these guys here. And then from this point, I'd be risk off. I'd be partial out into this. You're taking this for a trade down. Be very, very careful here for a trade back upside. Yulimai having technical issues with trading view. Someone else said that this morning. Are you lacking data? Someone in Discord messaged this morning, unless that was you on Discord. Who was it that said that this morning? Someone had an issue. Oh, it was you, Yulimar. Are you paying for CME data? That's the first thing I would say. Are you paying for CME data? So if you're not paying for data, that could be one of your issues that you're having. So if you're not paying for data, you'll be getting a 10-minute lag. Unless you're logged in. If you're logged into your Tradeovate and you have a live account somewhere or a challenge account, whatever you want to call it, then you'll get data. But you need data feed on TradingView. You need CME data. So you're either getting that from somewhere or you're not. Yeah, you'll have to buy the data. I think it's like $8 a month or something like that if you're not logged in. If you're logged into Tradeovate via TradingView, like let's say you're logged in for Apex or whatever, then it would be fine. Yeah, exactly. So you'll need to be logged in and you'll need to have data. That might be why you're having issues, Yulimar. It's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, Rhythmic can go missing, but Rhythmic isn't on TradingView. There's no Rhythmic data on TradingView to my knowledge. So far, still just basing around here at this imbalance. I still think we should come and clean these up, but it's just lacking the willingness to go lower right now. You've got 15 minutes until a new H1 candle. 15-minute chart is a little bit ugly here as well. ES protecting the IB low. ES did sweep. Okay, I can keep saying it. ES did sweep these levels. NQ did not. ES did sweep it. So you have slight divergence here. So ES has done this move so far. It's swept this, and it's trying to do this right now. So what ES does next will be key. You were getting no price action. Super frustrating. Yeah, but are you logged in? Do you have data, Yulimar? Instead of getting frustrated, let's try and fix the issue. Do you have data? Are you paying for CME data? Are you logged in? That's the first thing to look at. You won't get price action if you don't have data and you're not logged in. So let's try and find a solution so it's less frustrating for you. I would say don't take a trade for the rest of the day no matter what, because you're already saying you're frustrated. So let's just find a solution and get you set for tomorrow. This feels like if they trap enough down here, then they're going to go back for these highs up here. All right, so we're just in a range rotation all day. If they can reject this here, they still have the chance to clean this up. If they reclaim this, they're going to go back for these highs. Remember, liquidity is being built in here right now. So if this is failure here, and we trade inside, accepting back inside this range, we go back upside. It's ugly, ugly, ugly. Well, have you got a minus in front of your chart or something? I can't really help you. You're going to have to, like, why don't you message me in Discord and post it? Do it in the new student questions tab in Discord, Yulimar. Let's get it sorted. Let's get it sorted for you. It will be something simple. It's going to be something simple. It's either going to be Yulimar, I'm going to say it again. Are you paying for CME data and are you logged into Tradeovate on it? If you're not logged in and you're not paying for data, you're not going to have a live feed, right? If you're not logged in to Tradeovate on TradingView, where you already have an account, or you're not paying for data, you are not going to have a live feed. So if there's a problem there, if you are logged in and you still don't have a live feed, then I would email Tradeovate and explain the issue. You might need to go onto the Tradeovate website and make sure it's linking properly. So here's lack of acceptance underneath, held the imbalance, going back upside now. So range rotation continues. Ugly, ugly day. This is the action that I try and avoid as much as possible. The shorts got stuck down here yet again, and they buy it back up. Didn't even take out those stops into the 800s. It's always not a good sign when we're leaving liquidity. We've left liquidity both sides now. So we've left liquidity down here and we've left liquidity up here. Oh, what a boring afternoon this is going to be if we're going to do this. No plays for me. We'll not be touching this the rest of the day if this is how we're going to operate and act. But there's nothing on the book other than some light orders. It's that's what it is right now. We had the easiest plays. There's nothing else to do. But it's not necessarily random. It's just we're in range rotation, right? We liquidated one set of stops. We go back. We left these highs here. This is why I didn't love the short, because we didn't sweep it to go down. We just range rotate. It's not random. This has been the rotation all day, right? It's not a random play. Here's your imbalance. This is where sellers got stuck this morning. We held that exact imbalance. There's nothing random about it. It's just not fun to play. What I don't like is how thin the book is. When I'm looking at orders which are like 12 lots. Ugh. Gross. Gross, my friend. Gross. My French accent, yeah. What are we doing, Mr. Market? Make your mind up. Oh my God. I'm gonna go to sleep here. One thing I don't do, you will learn from me what I don't do. What are the flow zones doing? This is like, don't touch me. This is BS type of market. This is no bueno. I do not like that market. And we've done the same thing. We've left H1 and we've left these, and now we're building. This, if we'd taken this, I would have been way preferring a short back down, but we didn't take it. If we'd taken this, I way preferred the long back up, but we didn't take it. Guess what took both sides? ES did. ES took both sides. Of zero interest in anything right now. And they're not going to do much until Donald comes and talks, I would say, unless there's some other news that hits the wire. We do have something else today. Let me have a look. There is a Fed talk at 12:35. Another 40 minutes or so. Look at this, all the way back up to VWAP. We're going to go all the way back down now and sweep the liquidity. Wouldn't surprise me. Just checking the news feed here. Trump about Zelensky. So he's already talking. Fantastic. Fantastic. Unscheduled talks from the president. Who'd have guessed it? Who'd have guessed it? America not put up with it for much longer. The war will go on for a very long time. This is the worst statement that could have been made by Zelensky. Like I said, this guy loves to talk. He loves to talk. So, guess what? At 41, he started talking. There you go. There you go. So, that's the move off an unscheduled comment. He should, honestly, he should be banned from doing that. He should be banned from doing it. It's going to be like this for the next 4 years. How can you do anything when he just opens his gob nonstop? Would love to trade more technicals than him moving it, you know. Yulimar, even how you're answering in chat sounds like 10 minutes behind right now. That was off Financial Juice, Aaron. I'm a bit worried for you, Yulimar, if you've got like something wrong with your internet. Do a speed check, do a time check on your internet. So, like I said, I'm not interested in this. No, thank you. No, thank you. They can go all the way back up for those stops at the upside now if they want. Definitely can do that if they want to. Definitely can do that if they want to. If they keep failing VWAP, they can go all the way for the stops at the bottom. They can do both these things here. It's very, 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 very ugly. This is the kill candle that we failed from. Remember, we left lots of stops up here, and we left lots of stops down here. That's your range right now. I have no intention in trading in this range. Zero. Zero intention. Got to get going, man, for me to have any interest in doing anything. Boring. Boring market. It's going to wait. It's going to wait for Trump, I think. What are you doing, market? like I said, the book's thin, guys. There's no one interested in playing right now. Ever since this morning, since we got that really good sell and then that bid back up, there's been no one interested in playing this. No one with any size. So it's just building sideways right now. That's all we're doing. We're back into an M5 imbalance that we broke down from. We're trading from an M5 imbalance that we bid up from. We're just trading between two ranges right now. It is not very sexy, let's say. Put it in that term. Not very sexy right now. Nothing making me think, yes, I really want to play this right now. And there's a really good setup coming. And we're right at VWAP and everything's flat. Okay, you're logged in, you're paying. That's really not good. All right, do a full reset. Log into Tradeovate. Make sure it's linking properly to your trading view. There's a tab in there that you can click. Make sure it's linking properly to your trading view. And then maybe message them, see what they say. Don't know what else to do other than that, but sounds like there's a problem between your Tradeovate giving you data and coming back into your trading view. So normally there's a tab somewhere on Tradeovate. I haven't done it for so long, but there's a tab there sometimes that you need to click on so that it knows to give the data. Coming all the way back down now. Are we going to go all the way back down and run for those stops now? Or are we just going to find a bid off this level? Is it going to find a bid here and go up? Or is it going to fail this and run for these lows, which it left? So it's left liquidity both sides, which is why I don't like it. It's going to have to abuse one side for it to make me even think about doing anything. No interest in doing anything otherwise. None. Zero. Zero whatsoever. Catch you later, BU. So being a sniper, staying out of the market until it proves otherwise. New hour candle here. What have we got? Pretty ugly on the hourly right now. Two drives up without taking out the high of the previous hourly candle, trading back inside the hourly range, trading inside value of the day, leaving liquidity both sides, no A+ setup, no highly probable setup. You have arguments both sides here. You have an argument for this, and you have an argument for this right now because we're rejecting a 5-minute imbalance up here. Both sides, we're just trapping between. When we're doing this, I am hands off. There is no reason to be clicking a button unless you have like a very, very clear draw one side. We have equal draws both sides right now. Not going to play this. And that is also lunch. So even better reason to get off this ugly, ugly price action. All right. And I suggest you lot do the same. Okay. And you can come back in after Donald Trump stopped running his mouth. Because until then, the market's going to just chop around and build liquidity. And the moment he makes a statement, it is going to search for that liquidity and abuse it. That's exactly what it's going to do. Think about how many people are short versus this and how many people are long versus this right now. And let's say as a statement, it can do this, it can do this, it can do this, it can do this. All right, so just wait. Just wait for him to get out the way of the market. All right, the market's in an indecision zone right now. And I'll, yeah, exactly, Cat. And I will see you tomorrow morning. We're going to go again. Just bear with me this week, team, because like I said at the beginning of the stream, I am solo this week, so I'm having to manage my dog as well as get on the screens, which is easier said than done when she can be stubborn. But I'll see you all tomorrow. Trade safe, use hard stops. Everyone else, I'll see you in Discord in the afternoon. Peace out.